against one of the fiercest teams we've seen online leading up to this event.
And look, you can train as hard as you want, but I mean, when you have the firepower that Optic Gaming has, it's going to be hard for Rise to just kind of keep up in the slaying department. Good for Rise, though, is the game slows down a little bit with the adjustment to spawns and hardpoint, that if they rotate correctly, they can take a lot of the time. They don't have to win as many engagements as previously before.
Just the key fights, Matt. That is going to be the key to victory here for Rise Nation. Optic Gaming, pretty decent start, 25 points to just 1 for Rise already. And you can see Karma is going to give up that hill time to Krim. Well, he is going to go patrol. Gets the call outs here from Scump. Not able to pick up anything. Krim leaving the HP is going to find a player in the air. Facetto cut out of the sky using that propulsion.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see when we watch Optic play who's going to kind of take on what role, because the anchor role is definitely back here in Infinite Warfare. You see Krim get all the way to the back of this next hardpoint, just trying to set up. Here he has another teammate funneling through the front, and it looks like at least at the beginning of this first hill, it's going to be Krim the first one on the rotation, really locking down these power positions. And I like this call because that allows Formal to just kind of do what he naturally does best, which is just roam around the map and slay.
Yeah, if you look at the numbers from the previous Optic Gaming hardpoint, Crim6 had 122 seconds inside that hill. So he's going to be your OBJ man that you leave behind. Meanwhile, the other players, they're going to be pushing up around the map. Karma, he's going to be your secondary OBJ, but it's really going to be Formal and this man Scump who are going to be laying down the kills.
Yeah, and I feel like the one that gets affected the most out of all these changes is Scump, because he plays at that such fast pace where he just likes to get in your face over and over and over again. And I remember back in Black Ops 2 when we would go up against Optic, you know, Scump would just push like the last 10 seconds of a hill. We're like, okay, fine, kill us. Like, we'll go take the next one. That's perfectly okay. And I feel like that's something that he's going to have to get adjusted to doing here in Infinite Warfare.
Looney spawned out, and he was trying to fight for control of the hangar. Aqua's going to be cleaning up the final seconds, but really the player we should watch, let's go over to Facetto. He's going to be leading the charge for the new hardpoint. Optic already has 3 players setting up, and in fact, Facetto's going to clean up one of the 2 defenders. Number 7, that Scump is way too far back, and Facetto is going to punish. This is a huge play as Rise is going to retake the hill. They should be able to catch right back up on our scoreboard.
It's like, well, there's one way to break in, right? I mean, you don't have to rotate early. You just have to bank on Facetto just getting 3 kills, just 3 phenomenal kills to enter them inside of the hardpoint. Currently on a 6 streak. Just going to play this corner with the OSA. It's an assault rifle that kind of acts like a submachine gun, so you're going to be able to play these close quarters to your best advantage. And Rise climbing back in terms of score as well. They are very close to taking the lead.
Aqua's going to try and chase down his teammate's killer. That was Karma being taken out. Crim6 and Scump out of the action as well. So the only one up is going to be Formal, and Optic says, you know what, we're going to have to give up this time. 10 points remain on this hill as we see Rise Nation with the lead. Will they be able to maintain? We're going to stay on board with Aqua. He's already got 49 seconds of hardpoint time. He's on a 3 streak. It could be working towards some score streaks. Not going to happen. Let's go over to the action inside the new HP.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 players down, though, for Rise Nation. As you see, it's going to be Optic Gaming getting inside of the hill, and Formal set up on these head glitches could cause them a ton of problems. And the one thing that's really going to be dominant for this Optic Gaming team here is when the spawns are like consistent, right? And they know where these players are coming from. They were already good predicting it and just eliminating you as it was. Now it's going to be even easier for them once they get set up to just keep it rolling.
It's like they're playing in slow motion now. They love it. Let's go over to Scump, 8-10 currently. He's not off to a great start, and this is a guy who we're kind of used to just taking over games.
Well, in the first hardpoint we saw, he obviously did not put up the numbers that were normal to seeing. We saw the head-to-head matchup between Scump and Looney, and I think it has something to do with, you know, more assault rifles in the game now. Like, the prominent meta is to just run all assault rifles, and obviously the slower style of play, it's going to be a little bit more tactical. So Scump definitely has to adjust his play style, and look, I mean, he is so superbly talented. I mean, just his mechanics are insane. Probably the best mechanics in all Call of Duty. He's going to figure it out. It's just going to be a little bit of a learning curve. At
this point, a very even game. You look at all of the numbers, we're basically at a flat, even match. Formal for Optic Gaming have the best out of all 8, though. He's 14-9 plus 5, and you're going to see Aqua finally be taken down. Facetto's there to back up his teammate, and you will see Rise continue to score. They've retaken the lead once again against Optic.
And this is interesting because the Optic game against TR, the game was really close in hardpoint as well. And Rise, a team that obviously does not have the slaying potential that Optic has, is doing a fantastic job keeping up in the slaying department, and they're rotating early and locking these down for a ton of time. So it's a really odd showing here from Optic Gaming at the beginning of this match. They have to be very careful because Rise is a very good search and destroy team. They dropped this first map, a lot like what the analysis desk was saying. They could find themselves down 2-0 pretty quick.
This is one of the money hills, and we're going to stay on board with Rise as they're going to try and break through this Optic Gaming lineup. We're on board with Aqua, one of their star players from previous titles. In this one, honestly, I think he's got to be your guy. When you looked at him before the patch, he was dropping the biggest numbers on the team, but they wouldn't always get the win. This time around, a little bit more of an even showing coming in from Rise Nation. You're getting a very strong game out of Looney, and he was definitely the player who had the worst performance at PSX.
Well, this is what Rise Nation needed to make that next jump to that top level. It's like, look, they've already been around the top 4 or 5, pretty consistent, but they have not been able to overcome your Optic Gamings and your phases on a consistent basis. If other players can step up the slaying department besides Aqua, they can easily do that.
All right, Matt, here's the last chance here for Rise. They're not going to get it. So this is basically a full 60 potentially, well, more like 45 here for Optic Gaming, but a very strong hard point. The big battle's coming up, though, next.
Yeah, but look, I mean, Optic Gaming, they're going to take the remainder of this time. It's going to get the score very close. But if Rise can win these gun battles on the rotation, it's basically going to be a moot point because Rise is going to make this time back at the beginning of this next hill.
And Rise won all of those gun battles. All 3 players that were surging for the new hard point cut down. It was Looney transitioning first once again, but now the score streak's coming out. Formal is going to use the Scarab. Is he going to find anybody? Yes, he will. 1 kill goes down, but he lost 2 teammates while that score streak was in action. The push is coming in. The rewind can be used by Karma as he stays alive, and it looks like Aqua is going to punish on his second attempt, but Formal cleaning up both players, and a third will fall. Formal clearing the point by himself. His teammates serving as distractions as everyone from Rise just gets flooded in on.
They finally make it in Optic, but there's only 20 seconds left on the hill again. So we're in the same kind of prediction we were in before, right? Where they were on the point for the last 20 or so seconds. Rise can rotate. They can give up on this. They don't need the time. I mean, look, Optic Gaming, they'll get this. They'll get to 163. So you have a 170 to 163 game. Rise can just take the first 12 seconds of the next point, and they're in the same spot. So Rise, they just don't need to panic right now. They can't play for the garbage time. They just need to play consistent. They need to rotate early, get control, and they'll be in a very good spot.
Here's a look at Faceno. He's got the rewind ready to go. Will he push out and then go back to safety? He's going to hear the players charging above and comes up behind one. Felony's going to grab the other, but Crim6 is going to take out Aqua. A pretty strong team fight, though, here for Rise Nation. They get 3 of the 4 kills. They continue to score. Optic Gaming, I don't think they were prepared to have this tough of a hardpoint.
No, and they should have, to be honest with you, though. I mean, their hardpoint was not great against TR in their first match, so you kind of needed to go back and work on your hardpoint game or at least get on the same page. And at least early, it looked like Optic was going to coast through this one. A nice rewind use here from Facento as he's able to pick up 1 and then get out of harm's way. Not going to be able to pick up another kill, but the idea was great. And right now, Optic definitely just kind of staggering towards this hard point. They need to just kind of take a deep breath, relax, make a push together. But with 9 seconds left, now you're forced. Look, they're playing for the garbage time again. They needed to go a little bit earlier to the next hard point.
Big fight here for Karma. He is on the rotation, 2 enemies nearby. If he can get these picks, it'll open things up for Optic Gaming. Gonna find one, charging onto the point, gets cut down from the back. Crim6 not able to support him here. And really, I am so impressed with Rise. Felony 26 and 19, 20 and 19 out of Looney. Aqua +2 as well. They are simply outslaying Optic Gaming. You have Formal who's +9, but he is the only one holding his own, and he's getting most of those kills with his teammates baiting for him.
So a lot of the positives we've been talking about for Rise Nation, right? You know, Optic Gaming, they're kind of falling behind, whatnot, but this is a big hill for Optic. Look, Rise Nation just braced it, but if Optic was able to hold on to that, they're right back in this game. The next 2 hardpoints, pretty unforgiving. If they get there early and they win those fights, they're in a good spot to take this game. But Rise Nation breaks into the hill. They're going to take it back with 15 seconds. And Optic is in a position where they can't rotate early. Facento playing absolutely out of his mind right now on a 7 streak. Rotating to this next hardpoint, it's going to be big for Rise Nation. Optic needs to take that garbage time. And now if Rise Nation locks us down, it's game.
Faceno, 2 big kills on the drill. Then, while retreating to this new hardpoint, was able to pick up 2 more. The missile's coming in, and he's going to land it a double as Scump and Crim6 are picked off. They're now 18 points away. They continue to score, and look at your mini-map. They all got to get past Looney, and even if that happens, you got Facento working with Aqua.
And Facento's streak ends at 11, just opening the game up for Rise Nation. Looney needs to pick up this 1 kill, and that is going to be it.
250 to 197. Rise Nation coming out swinging.
And that is a big map 1 win for Rise Nation because they feel really good about their search and destroy game. And now you look at it, they win that game 2. All the pressure's off in uplink game 3. All the pressure is off in the hardpoint game 4. those are like free money for them. They win them, they end the series, great. If not, you know you have that game 5 in your back pocket.
Let's take a look at some of these numbers here as Optic Gaming is going to talk about what went wrong for them in that game 1. Felony, 29 and 22. Didn't quite drop the 30 bomb, but he was definitely on pace. Vicento, 28 kills. And you said how many? 11 in a row at the end?
Yeah, sick game from Vicento. And when I look at this scoreboard, the one thing that stands out to me is Aqua is 22 and 20. Not a huge performance out of him, but he has the most hill time on their team. So he's inside of the hard point picking up key engagements. It's not the Aqua where he's kind of roaming outside of the hill, just picking up like garbage kills, so to speak.
Right.
Like he's picking up meaningful kills, and he's putting his teammates in a position where they're able to succeed a little bit easier.
You know, I tried to talk to Vicento before the match, tried to get him to, you know, smile, maybe lighten up before this battle. No, he's got his game face on, and you could see Vicento, he's always been this X Factor all the way back to Advanced Warfare on Revenge. He was the guy, if he shows up, you are going to have a strong performance in those respawns. You're probably going to win the game. He definitely turned it on the last 3 minutes.
Well, we saw some really close matches between Elevate and this Optic Gaming team last year. So when we saw them, I believe it was MLG Anaheim. They meet up in the finals, the Elevate team and Optic Gaming. We saw some good matches there. These teams always play each other a little bit tough. Now Looney in the mix instead of Nagafin. This team gets a little bit more slaying power. They can maybe contend with this Optic Gaming team.
You're going to need that guy closest to the camera to go in. Scumpy, very quiet in our first respawn, but it's just one game in the best of 5. We still got to search and destroy. We're guaranteed to see some uplink, and I have a feeling we're going to see a game 4.
Yeah, I think we will as well. I can't imagine this goes a 3-0 in favor of Rise Nation. I feel like Rise, they're a very good team, but I can't imagine you're going to shut out Optic.
Well, speaking of Rise Nation, if you want to watch any of these players' individual feeds, you can do it right now on MLG.tv. Go ahead and click on the rosters on the right. You can watch the individual POVs. You can watch the team POV.
It's pretty sick.
Or you can watch the broadcast with Matt and I controlling it. But I really love taking some time just watching one player's point of view. You can learn so much with what they do for the team. They don't always go for the engagements. They're oftentimes, you're going to see the unsung heroes are the ones in the back setting them up.
Yeah, and this is something I know fans have been asking for a really long time. Like, I want to watch from Scump's POV. I want to watch him do crazy things in the respawns and whatnot. And now you're actually able to do it. It's an awesome feature. I remember when they showed us like a few weeks ago, I was like, this is awesome.
We're like, well, you guys have this done already? This is ready for this one?
It's like, who built this?
And all of the background player information you could ever want on your players.
Yeah.
So game number 1, it's in the books. It was all Rise Nation. We're going into a search and destroy now. And honestly, I'm really looking forward to seeing, is Rise going to be able to get off to that 2-0 start? Because you have a very strong S&D player in Felony on this lineup.
Well, this is what Rise considers their best game mode. I think without a doubt. This is the one that they go into feeling the most confident. So after you win that game 1, obviously your confidence is sky high. You didn't expect to win it. And now slay Optic in it. So you go into the search and destroy, you're feeling pretty good. If they do win the S&D, I still don't feel great about Rise Nation in terms of the series, though.
No?
No, not really.
You see a reverse sweep happening, no matter what.
We've seen a lot of, we saw the first Cloud9 game.
Yep, TK.
TK reverse sweep. It almost happens again to Cloud9. It's just it's something we've been seeing quite often in Call of Duty over the last year and a half.
It's so amazing to see what happens when you put these teams on LAN. All that online practice, throw it out the window. What you've seen in the scrims, it's not the same thing. When you get into the same venue, when you're playing on that main stage, you get a whole new life force out of these players. Vicento, he's one of those guys. Clayster talked about it. FaZe, a team like that, where they play on the main stage, they elevate their game to the next level. I think Rise is going to give another good running here as we head to Crusher for S&D.
Yeah, it's just the energy that's in the room, right? I mean, you just play at a different pace. I mean, some guys just can't get really hyped and invested just playing from home in your bedroom or whatnot, but you got the crowd here. Everyone's stoked. You want to cause a big upset. You want to make a name for yourself, and you start to play a little bit better. And now we'll see Rise Nation here in search and destroy, see if they can steal this game number 2 from Optic.
I was taking a look at Vicento, but he is not going to engage after. Actually, he's going to peek again, survives, and now he's going to be backing up. Meanwhile, Looney was tagged up while carrying the bomb. Strong defense set up already, but Scump is going to get dropped. So just like that, it's going to be advantage to Rise with Fellow opening things up.
And they're going to try and work over towards A. And this is a site that I do not prefer, Chris, to be honest with you. There is so much area over by the B bomb site. It's such a safer way to push. And see Formal in the kill feed with the pistol. He picks up 1. He has a sniper rifle in his hand. So obviously no overkill, not going to be able to have a secondary weapon. He's going to have that pistol as his backup. So if Rise can get the bomb down at A, that's actually a big advantage because it's going to be very difficult to get in here with the pistol against a K-bar.
And I bet Rise has been watching some streams. I'm sure they're going to be ready for this. You're going to see Aqua forced down. He saw the shots coming from a second player, calls it out. Looney's going to engage here, and he's your bomb carrier, but he's going to be able to survive, and the final kill is going to come in over his shoulder. You'll see it here in our round-ending kill cam. Great start, though, for Rise. They take game number 1, and they're going to open up our first round in Search and Destroy. If you're just joining us, S&D, it's going to be the first team to win 6 rounds here on Crusher. We'll be switching sides every single round with one team attacking, the other one defending. This time, it's going to be Optic on the attack. Who's your player to watch, Matt?
No, I want to actually see Scump. He's going to have the bomb in his hands, had a rough game 1. I want to see if he can kind of bounce back here in the S&D. And I know, obviously, Scump phenomenal in the response. It was like a knock on him for a while. Like, maybe he's not as strong in Search. I feel like last year he was a very good S&D player. So I want to see how he comes into Infinite Warfare, play Search and Destroy.
On board with Scump. Not a whole lot happening yet. We're going to take a peek real quick at Karma, who's going for the first engagement. 2 players, though, from Rise within range to cause some problems. You're going to see the rotation now coming in as Optic has put their eyes over on a new target. Let's go over to our bomb carrier. Scump is going to lead this one.
Yeah, and it's going to be Optic Gaming going over towards the B site. This is completely clear because you see Rise Nation's put a lot of emphasis over by locking down A and mid-map. What I expect to see is once this bomb goes down, you're going to see the flank come in from Rise Nation. So you can see all 3 of their arrows at the bottom of the minimap. They're going to be challenging Karma here in the back.
Yeah, but Karma was ready for it. He was just jumping, peeking, making sure he's not going too high, has enough cover. He's got plenty of help with him. That's Crim6 right next to him, and now Formal is going to be rotating. Scump, he's going to get up close and personal. We'll be dropping. Crim is there to trade it out, and we're going to see just one player left. It's Vicento in a 1v4, and the spray is going to get 1, but he'll be cut down. 1-1 here after our first 2 rounds. I'm waking up, and it seems like Optic Gaming is as well.
Yeah, they need to right away. You see they win a good round there. They knew the flank was coming in as soon as they got the bomb down, as soon as Karma picks up that first kill, and he's able to stay alive. That just makes the round so much easier for Optic Gaming.
Rise Nation back on the attack. Last time it was Looney, your bomb carrier. He currently sits at 2-1. Vicento, a pretty solid S&D game to open things up as well. And it looks like this time around we have a new path for our attacking lineup. You can see Optic Gaming, those green arrows on the defense. The first battle that might go down, and it is going to be won by Felony. Meanwhile, Looney is going to get to this site safely, and it's going to be trouble for Formal. As he peeks, he's about to find out this bomb is down, and he knows there's going to be defenders everywhere. The jammer coming in, and Formal, he is going to be out of the action until Karma can get here to support.
Yeah, he's just going to have a teammate look over him because they're going to push him from this top rock, and it's going to be Looney able to pick up 2. It's going to leave Scump the only one alive. He's able to get 1. Has 2 players directly in front of him. Just so many angles he has to keep an eye on that they are just locking him down inside of this corridor. He can really go nowhere, and they're going to be able to just converge on him, take him out. Rise gets their 2nd round win.
And I love that play from Rise Nation. You had Felony go one direction, 3 players go the opposite. Felony gets first blood and then is able to rejoin his team. The bomb goes down, and Optic Gaming is all caught out of position. Formal just stuck back in the back by those jammer grenades. Constant action coming in here from Rise Nation. They know how to throw Optic off their game. And it's going to be Optic now with the attempt to tie things up. Their attack is going very aggressively here at the top.
Now we'll see them attack over towards this A bomb site, and it's all determined on getting first blood, and Aqua takes out Crim again. So that's the 2nd round in a row where Crim is the first one to drop. At the hands of Felony last round, Aqua this one, but Formal evens up the odds. So we're going to be at 3 players apiece, and it's going to be Formal just trying to get onto the bomb site. He's going to get taken out. You see Looney has Vicento looking over, and we're going to get into a 1v1 scenario pretty quick.
Vicento should have won this already, but he has given Scump some time. Scump is going to escape with his life, and he's actually got the bomb still in hand. So things are turning out well here for Optic Gaming. Scump, though, he's got to make a decision. Vicento, I have a feeling, is probably just going to let him plant this one eventually.
Yeah, I mean, Scump, obviously, if I'm Scump, I want to get out of this area as soon as possible. I do not want to just kind of navigate through all these narrow chokes. I want to get over towards B where it's a little bit more open. You can get bombed down, and you just have 2 really just ways to watch. You don't have to kind of worry about all these doorways coming from different angles. But it looks like Scump going to make his way back over to the site. And see, it's going to be Vicento just running right in. It's going to be Vicento winning the fight.
And the timing, incredible there for Vicento. There's nothing worse than getting caught while planting a bomb. You just simply can't get your gun up in time. And Vicento, he is just going to light Scump up. Didn't miss a bullet.
Now, right there, I think actually Facento, he goes and checks mid-map to see if Scump crosses, and as soon as he doesn't see anything, he goes back and checks.
I know where you are.
Yeah.
Solid stuff so far from Rise Nation. They won your first game. They're currently leading by 2 rounds. Back on the attack once again. They have had some strong attacks up to this point. Felony gonna be dropped first though. So first blood going to Karma here as Optic Gaming finally has an advantage.
Yeah, that was a really risky push there by Felony. I mean, he's just kind of trying to get up the middle of the map. You got to know there's at least one player playing in that position, but Optic, they have 2 there. Even if Karma doesn't win that fight, he's got a teammate there to trade it out. So they have the man advantage, looking at a pretty good spot here early in this round to take it.
Here's a look at your mini-map. Karma spotted a player earlier through a doorway, but did not engage. Instead, he called it out, went over to check the other bomb site. Meanwhile, his teammates are going to have to deal with the push. It's Crim6 inside, and he is going to get dropped. Facento is going to pick up 2 here. And now, this all of a sudden is a round for Rise Nation where they could potentially walk away. The pinch is coming in. Facento checking every doorway possible, and finally he's going to lose a fight, but it was traded out. So 1v1, Looney versus Scump. Can Scump get it done here?
Yeah, now Scump in yet another 1v1 scenario. So we just watched him lose a 1v1 to Facento. Let's see if his luck is a little bit better here against Looney. Now Looney just kind of playing pretty slow here. Does not need to make a decision yet. Still has a decent amount of time left.
And he finally collected that bomb. So Looney can't get the plan off, but he's running out of time to get it down. And Scump is going to find him as Looney runs back to the position. Farmel with the fist bump says, well done, buddy. We needed that one. Optic's back in it, trailing by just 1. This game was getting out of hand, and Scump just brought it back.
Yeah, it seems like Looney there was a little bit indecisive. He picks up the bomb, has about 15, 20 seconds left, and he just kind of doesn't know if he wants to rotate all the way to B or just kind of play it slow or maybe play it potentially even for the kill over at A. Never ends up getting the bomb down. Scump takes him out and puts Optic right back in this match.
We're going to stay on board here with Karma, 2-time world champion. Going to be leading the charge here, and he is going to be met with some opposition. There are going to be 3 players from Rise Nation. Let's go over to Felony in the back line. Facento trying to rotate over to give him some cover. Optic still looking to get this bomb down. It's in the hands of Scump, but they only have 2 defenders to get through. Crim6 dropping Felony, but Facento answers back, so Crim out of the action. The rewind keeps him alive, and Looney is going to be watching the far entrance. So Facento, he's just got to watch his teammate back and play this one slowly.
That was a beautiful use of rewind right there. He's able to win one gunfight and keep his life, force this 2v2 scenario because Rise Nation knows how big of a round this is. They can go on 4-2, go on the offensive side. They've been pretty successful there. Look to be able to close out this S&D.
Here comes the tag team battle. As you can see, Scump and Formal trying to organize. Formal is going to clear the way as Scump is going to go for the plant. And it looks like Scump is going to get it down, but now this is a 1v2. You have to kill both defenders or just burn enough clock time to secure this round and get that bomb to detonate.
He's going to have both players just kind of crossing him up. Even if he wins one gunfight, it's an easy one for the other player to win. It'll be Looney on bomb. It'll be Rise Nation getting their 4th round. So
we got a reactive armor.
Well, are they going
to
they're going to give this to Facento, I would imagine. So yeah, Facento's going to just go look, see if he can get any trophies. Yeah, they're going to give it to Facento. Facento on the 2 streak. You have Looney on 1. It's not like a huge difference, so to speak, but obviously, I mean, you can get him a little bit closer towards his score streaks there.
Reactive armor would have been locked in if he goes with the next kill here for Looney, next round rather. So we'll see here, Matt. 4-2, going into round number 7, and you look at the numbers once again. Facento going in. The man is 8-3. Let's show him off the attack. There's a look at Aqua, his teammate. As you're going to see the battle in the close corridors, that is where Rise loves to force these fights. And actually, now it looks like we're going to go for the perimeters. Facento, he spots the trophy, and now going to catch a player in the air. That was Karma. The pinch is all coming in. Aqua, his teammate, on the long flank. Keep an eye on that arrow. It looks like Felony just trying to stall things out.
Yeah, and if they can get Aqua behind enemy lines a little bit faster, they would have been able to make a big play there. But Felony is going to get taken out on bomb. It's going to be Looney just trying to get away with his life. And Aqua comes on the flank there. That was just a poorly timed play there, but it's going to be Looney with reactive armor. The 1v1, he challenges it regardless and wins the fight.
This was supposed to be a 2v2 pinch with Aqua on the flank. And after Aqua gets one, Looney was actually retreating. He charges right back out, gets both kills, and you can see it. Rise Nation feeling it right now. Facetto looking at his teammates like, guys, we got this. One more round.
You only challenge that. You only challenge that if you are feeling extremely confident. There is no reason to challenge that fight. Especially, I don't even believe, did he? Oh, so use his reactive armor there. So he's able to use the reactive armor, win the fight. But still, it's one that's a little bit risky. And now Optic Gaming with their backs against the wall here, going to try and force their way into the A site.
Karma trying to get that first blood, but as he shows himself, 3 players from Rise come storming in. Crim6 is able to punish Facetto, but there is that propulsion from Karma going up and above, finding another player in the back. Karma is going to keep him in it. Crim's getting fired up. Optic Gaming not going down without a fight here.
That was a quick round. Pretty easy round from Optic Gaming. They just muscle their way into the A site. They win all the engagements with relative ease. Karma picks up 3 during that round. I believe it's a formal in the final kill cam there with the last one. So we'll see now if they can hold serve on the defensive end or if Rise Nation is going to take this with yet another offensive round.
Looney 8-4, Facetto 9-5. Have been your key players so far in this search and destroy for Rise Nation. Facetto always watching that cross right away. It's going for the peak shots. He's feeling so confident here. Meanwhile, you can see that bomb starting to move.
So this is a delay over towards the site, and I really like this decision because what happened, what you saw with all the green arrows on defense is they all went into A, they saw no push, so they started to back out because you figure, okay, well, we don't want to give up the B site right away. They started to move over towards B, and they've seen nothing over at B. So now you see Rise Nation getting really aggressive up towards the middle of the map, and it's throwing Optic off guard because look, Optic Gaming so split right now, Rise Nation playing as a unit, this is looking pretty good.
Got to keep your eyes on Formal, though. Formal on the far flank is able to pick up a second kill, so it's just Aqua and Felony alive. Formal is going to get caught out. Felony earning his camo now. They are on game point. Scump in a 1v2 is going to make it a 1v1. Catches Aqua with a headshot. Now all he's got to do is chase down this bomb carrier. Felony, 20 seconds left to get this plan off.
And this is the 3rd round that has come down to a Scump 1v1. Different players, obviously, on the side of Rise Nation, but Scump, the lone man alive for Optic Gaming, needs to win this round to keep them alive here in game number 2. It's going to be Felony getting bombed down, and he has his payload as well, so Rise Nation looking really good here.
Felony, this is game point right here. Not going to use the camo, no need. Gets the kill anyway, 6-3, as Optic Gaming is going to fall behind on our main stage. Not a lot of people would see this one coming. After watching Rise at PSX, you can tell they have fixed all of their problems.
I was not high on Rise after PSX. I just did not see a lot of things that were positive, but they have come out in this series at least and looked amazing. Winning the first 2 maps, it'll be a 6-3 win on game number 2. And what's actually really interesting is we talked a little bit in the pregame, they talked about it on the desk, like somebody needs to step up besides Aqua. Aqua has a relatively slow hardpoint game, 22-20, only +2, still positive. And in this game, I believe he finishes with 4 kills. So everybody else stepping up. If they get a good performance from Aqua and everybody else keeps following suit with their own play, could this be a 3-0 in favor of Rise?
I feel like this is a momentum series right now. Rise Nation has all of the momentum. Facetto, he finished the last game with 11 kill streak. He comes into this one, opens up very strong. Everything is going well for Rise, and honestly, they had a lot of mistakes where they were supposed to bait and switch. They just had some poor plays, but at the end of the day, they were winning some one-on-one gunfights. Here's an example, the final kill coming in on Scump, Felony able to just slide out of the way.
So you saw it there for a second. He actually does use his camo there. Towards
after 3 bullets were fired, it pops out.
Right, but it does kind of throw off your aim assist a little bit.
That's true.
So that could be the difference, with 1 or 2 bullets between winning that fight or not. It doesn't even show him actually get into camo, but it's enough to kind of maybe potentially throw off that one shot.
In the slow-mo, you could see it pop up.
In the slow-mo, you can.
At the end of the day, it's Rise up 2-0. They're on match point. They could secure it here with an uplink. I don't know if that's going to happen. You saw Crim6, he's going to go take a break for a moment, just try and slow down this Rise Nation team. A lot of mind games going to these main stage matches.
If you're Rise, you want this game to start up as fast as possible.
Absolutely.
If you're Optic, you want to go to the bathroom, you want to throw some water on your face, you just want to talk out everything that's gone wrong the first 2 maps. But we're getting right into it. So it's going to be a pretty good scenario for Rise Nation, a team that goes off of momentum They have it all in the series.
Looks like Krim is sticking in. They're ready to go. This is Uplink. If you're just joining us for the first time, welcome to Primetime. We are live in Las Vegas. This is just day one of a 3-day event here on MLG.tv. And if you're in the Vegas area, come on by the venue.
Come on by.
We got DJs in the back partying. We got dodgeball, we got skee-ball and endgame, and we have some incredible matches here on the main stage for Call of Duty Infinite Warfare.
And the venue is just sick. I mean, it's like one of the best stages I've ever seen for Call of Duty. The Overwatch stage is cool as well. There's so many different booths here. It's a lot to do.
Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. It's a party. Come hang out with us. Rise Nation taking game number 1 and game 2, but this is Precinct Uplink, and we have seen so many games here from Optic Gaming where Formal gets hot, you get stuck in your base, you get spawn trapped, and you get massacred. Can they still do it, though, here today, Matt?
But it could easily go the other way as well, with how hot Rise has been. I mean, it just takes, on this map, it just takes one spawn trap from that favorable side, and you can put together, 4 or 5 points, and you're in a pretty good spot going into the second half.
Oh, I can't wait to see this rig draft. Are they going to mix anything up? Is it just going to be the standard?
I think you're going to just see
through the air. Facento on the other side using the propulsion. Honestly, we talked a little bit about all of the different payloads that you get, but that propulsion trait, these are your key players for me. These are the guys who are going to be flying around, getting those difficult angles, coming around the wall runs. It looks like another mirror match, though, should be locking in. Yep, overdrive, reactive armor, active camo, rewind. Nothing new on the trait side.
Really standard. It's what you're seeing. You don't really want to go with any of the weapons. Obviously, it takes a lot of score to earn. You may not even get it. If you do get it, you don't really get a guaranteed use out of it. The abilities you can probably get at least twice during the game. That's why you see a lot of these players go towards the abilities.
All right, Matt, opening Uplink. I'm telling the comeback story. We've seen some reverse sweeps on the main stage. Are we about to see another one to close out day number 1? Optic Gaming with Formal on your screen to open it up. It's a big battle in the lobby, and Rise Nation, they're not going to challenge for that drone right away. But it doesn't matter. Karma and Krim getting your first 2 kills. Formal's going to go on the flank. Meanwhile, his teammates are going to be running a 3-man crew up to the top. This should be a dunk, as they have plenty of escorts. And there it goes. Great opening. That one took 24 seconds. Optic Gaming already on the board.
I see that, and I'm just like, why? Because if you are Rise Nation, you've been winning the engagements, you've been the aggressor, and it's why not even go contest for the drone inside lobby? Like, you just let Optic Gaming get all of the map advantage, you let them get the drone and get right up into your base. This actually happened in the TK Cloud9 match that I casted a little bit earlier. TK came out, had a phenomenal first half, they were the aggressor, they did the same thing, and that's the only points that Cloud9 got.
You can't try and play it safe here in Infinite Warfare. It's not going to pay off for you. Formal this time going to be leading the charge. Right behind him is Scump with the drone, and as Formal drops, it's going to be Krim 6 taking up that position. Here is dunk number 2, 1:05, already 4 points.
And we talked about how snowbally this map can get, that right now Rise has played themselves into this situation, just being so passive right now. Rise has played themselves into this situation, just being so passive at the beginning of the game. That Optic Gaming, they get 4 points with relative ease. I mean, they don't even have to really kind of work for them. They've given them map control. Granted, they picked the kills in the base, so those are huge. But I feel like a lot of that was just Rise giving up way too much real estate on the map.
2 players down, make it 3, not quite. Karma can't finish that one against Facento. Instead, it is Rise who should be able to touch this drone. Looney is going to be flanking 1 player to beat, and Facento's going to take care of business. So here we go. Rise Nation on their first attack. You're going to see the lead blockers. Facento takes out Karma with that OSA. Grenades going out as they try and get the angle. Perfect job here from Felony and Looney, the duo pushing together. But as Felony falls, Looney doesn't predict the killer from up top, and Karma is going to save the day. Some big defensive kills, and now it's Optic back on the attack.
Yeah, and that drone ends up in a really bad spot. It's right underneath the lip, jumping up towards the goal, and it's very easy because Optic can watch it from 2 angles, right? You can have Karma, who's underneath the goal, watch that back statue area, or you have players from construction just watching the cross where you're not even able to get the drone.
Looney with a 2-piece is going to open things up. Scump just trying to stay alive, but this statue is finally going to fall. This is another delayed push here from Rise. Even after they get a multi-kill, Matt, they're not able to push into Optic's base and force out the spawns they want. Instead, Optic, some strong defensive stands. You got Karma at 7 and 6, but he's had 3 key plays already. First leading the charge on that opening dunk. two big defensive stands that we just saw there.
But let's see how Optic decides to play this, because they know there's going to be a lot of pressure on the top side of the minimap over towards Statue, and whether they elect to try and get the drone and push straight through and force the members of Rise to rotate back, or if they fight the gunfight straight on, which they end up doing. They push out over here towards Statue, they get the key trades they need to, and they're going to get control of this area. Now they'll be able to get the drone.
Propulsion not working out for Facento in that last fight. Scump is onto it. And now you can see Scump locking down the top hall. Here above tickets, you're going to have the push from Crim6 and Karma as well. Drone is down, though, so Optic not going to be able to score this one after Aqua slows them down. They're going to try and regroup as Crim jumps into tickets, finds the opening kill, now going to have to face off against Aqua.
And so much of, I find, uplink comes down to just map control and where your presence is on the map. Outside of that one push by Rise Nation over towards the back Statue, most of the action we've seen from them has been in the back alley of their own base, which is not a good sign.
That's not a good sign.
No, this is not where you want to be fighting.
Hard to win when you're coming off spawn constantly.
And it's just, I feel like it's just that opening break. And uplink, you see another two-point play go in. It is so important to get off to a good start, because if you just trade effectively from there on out, you're going to keep getting that map control. And once Rise Nation gives up the mid-map at the beginning of that game, Optic just takes full advantage.
The squad at 12-9. Scump is back in the action at 12-8 as well. He already has 4 points on the board. The drone in the hands of Rise Nation momentarily, but Karma here on defense is just looking for this push.
Yeah, and he's with another, and they do have the opportunity to get some more points on the board here, so they're able to kill these players out from Statue, get drone, and if they get again and spawn the back alley, you could see more points getting on the board, but Aqua picks up a big two-piece in the base. That should stop any type of push from Optic Gaming.
Tough positioning here for Looney, but he's going to have enough time to get up top. Optic not done on their push. They have 10 seconds left. This is the last one. You're currently watching the defensive stand here from Rise, trying to make it a 6-point deficit going into the half. And it looks like they will hold Felony and Facento in the feed. Optic feeling good about that first half, though. They're up by...
Optic plays at the beginning of the second half. Whether they try and challenge through drone, or whether they play a little bit more defensive on their side of the map and make the same mistake that I think Rise Nation did.
I feel like Karma played pretty defensively. Scump was there to back him up after they fell in a few fights. But Optic Gaming had Formal constantly pushing out. Crim6 was running with the group as well. And Crim is going to open things up. Let's go over to him, as he is going to be at the top. They know they cannot get pinched. They cannot let Rise Nation take control of their top spawn. That back gas alley, so hard to fight out of. Crim6 now going to put the pressure on the new spawns here from Rise. Going to find Felony, a second player right next to him. Shots going in, and he is going to somehow pick up the kill on Looney.
You should not be able to do that. Crim wins a very big gunfight there against Looney. Crim currently on a 5 streak. It's going to be Optic Gaming with drone in hand. Looks like we're going to see a 2-point play go in. It's going to be 8-0 in favor of Optic Gaming. They have control of the drone spawn as well. Things are falling apart here for Rise.
And it seems like the people in Vegas just woke up as well. The Optic chant starting here in the venue as we have another dunk incoming. They lost their blocker, but it doesn't matter. Crim6 puts 2 on the board, and Formal is going to stop the push coming in from Rise.
Now Crim currently on a 7 streak. Jinxed them. It's going to be Aqua able to take him out. It's going to be 10-0 though in favor of Optic Gaming. The drone in hands of Rise Nation. They do get a 2-point play here, so they answer back. They get control of top ticket. They're able to run one through. It's going to be Crim calling down his streaks. Not going to get anything for it. They are fortunate though. Rise does not have control of the drone, although they are winning gunfights, starting to get Optic in their back alley.
Felony accidentally killed Aqua, and that's actually going to turn the tide of this fight, because Rise Nation was starting to pinch Optic in the base after scoring. He answers with his score streaks, and now you see another 1-point play is going to come through. We're staying on board with Crim for now, but we will definitely show Rise next time they're touching the drone. Especially when I expect them to die, they're just surviving through these fights and fighting a scrappy battle. They're down 7 though, and they only have 3 minutes to get back in this game.
Yeah, and look, Crim is playing such a key position right now. He needs to just stabilize and lock down this top ticket area, because this is what's going to prevent Rise Nation from getting that good spawn trap in. But as soon as Facento takes him out, it's going to be Rise Nation with drone in hand and Facento up top. He needs to win one more gunfight, and they should turn it into points. It's going to be Scump winning one. Awful throw coming in from Felony. Should have been a 1-point play. Air ball there from Felony. It's going to result in Optic Gaming getting control of the drone, and they're going to try and wrap this one to Cherry Blossom.
And I think Karma's just going to throw this one for distance, kind of bait it out and look for some defensive kills. Optic trying to slow down the pace of this game. Formal hanging out at the gas station, just waiting for the push to come in. He did lose 2 teammates, though. And he is going to find the kill on Aqua. So no pressure on the flank. Optic is going to rotate to the top of the map, and Formal continues to put shots at players. Calls it out to Karma. Let's see if Karma makes an aggressive push.
Now you see it's going to be Karma just working his way through the middle of the map. He's going to try and flank here into lobby, and he's going to get taken out. So once Rise gets that first intro kill, you'd think they're going to try and push up, but Optic Gaming answers back with 2 kills of their own. It's going to prevent Rise Nation from touching the drone. And now as all 4 members of Rise drop, it's going to be Optic with drone control going towards this top statue, looking in a prime position to put some points on the board.
Formal just tossing that drone out ahead, looking for the kill. Shots coming in. It's Crim6 once again. Crim turning up here in the game 3. Scarab comes out, and it's going to find a player. The assist comes in as Crim cleans it up. Formal will be dropped, but we have an active camo, Crim6 available. He is going to get behind the player, shut down the payload. Karma with the drone is going to be surging this one forward. Defense in his way. There's going to be 3 players left. He eliminates 2. Formal still in Rise's base.
And Rise just cannot get over towards the drone. They have shown no control here in the second half, and with a minute to go, down 7. Rise needs a miracle to make this comeback. They have drone. It looks like they're going on the OE with it. So once Optic realizes this, it pops up on their minimap. You see all the arrows start to turn.
Grim just waiting for the push. Drone is so far back, 45 seconds left. Unless you get dunk after dunk after dunk, this one about over. Optic Gaming is trying to play.
Collapse if Optic were to lose this. It's almost mathematically impossible at this point as the drone going to be tossed. It's like a desperation 1-point throw that does not go in. It'll be Optic Gaming getting control of the drone in their base. They toss it out for a reset. Now all I need to do is just win 1 key engagement in the middle of the map, and they're good.
Karma just flying around, looking for players. Going to find Facento before this one is done. Karma, 27 and 23. Crim6, 27 and 18. Both players going huge. You got Scump and Formal also positive. Optic, they are back, and they are ready for a game number 4. Rise Nation, though, they're still on match point. Could steal it here with our next hard point.
It does put a lot of pressure on Rise Nation coming into this next hard point. Can you beat Optic in 2 hard points in a series? Be something if you talked to me a little bit before this, and you told me of the hard points.
And you look and see what went wrong here for Rise Nation. Really, where you had game number 1 round, you just didn't get the kills from Looney and Felony. They just seemed so uncomfortable.
I don't even think it's really something that you can kind of determine by the scoreboard. I just think the start of the game for Rise Nation was so poorly played, and Optic just snowballed after that, got the momentum, and Rise just was never able to bounce back.
All right, well, we have our experts on the desk ready to break this one down for us so far. Jack and crew, what have we seen here in our first 3 games?
Thank you, boys. It's a tale of 2 stories so far. One where Optic Gaming looked like a shell of themselves in that first hard point where they're just really getting beat out in every single part. Typically, it's Optic Gaming holding for majority of the 40 seconds and then maybe giving up the scrap time. This time, they were really fighting for any time they could get in that first game.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And this is what we sort of talked about, that when Optic played Revenge, it was a really close hard point. Yep. And then you have a team better than Revenge, and they just took advantage of it. All players on Rise going positive. That's what we talked about with Looney, this Looney edition. This guy, I mean, last year Looney was a player who had to take a step back really from the slaying role and just had to fill wherever he could and do as much dirty work as possible. Now he's on a less like selfish team that can play all around him.
And it looks like it's working so far for him. Facento goes huge in game 1, but also has some moments in game 2, TP. Game 3, maybe not the same thing from him. Is he your X factor going into this next hard point?
Oh, definitely. He was the only player on Rise that actually went positive in that uplink, for example. So Facento just having a hell of a series, especially against a lineup like Optic Gaming. Very impressive from him.
And now as we begin to focus towards this hard point, I do want to point one thing out is we saw the search and destroy didn't go in their favor. The uplink, though, they bounced back, and the reason why is the start they have. They go up 6-0. They get that lead, and you could tell how much more comfortable Optic Gaming was as that happened. Is that something that this team absolutely relies on, TP, to play the way that they want to?
Oh, definitely. Optic's probably the best team with a lead in the entire scene, in my opinion. All of a sudden, all it takes is that one play to just open up a can of worms for the other team, and you just spawn kill after spawn kill after spawn kill. They get the area of the map over towards Statue, which we saw most of the time on that uplink, and there's just nothing you can do to get all 4 of those players out of a pre-aim position. It's
got to be so frustrating to face, Merc, where one small mistake could mean tons of points in that uplink.
Yeah, and especially in a game type like uplink, when
a mistake could mean tons of points in that uplink.
Yeah, and especially in a game type like uplink, when you have that drone, one of your guys isn't able to shoot, and it's hard enough as it is to take down all 4 of the Optic guys. So when Optic has that lead, they can play at their pace. They can take advantage of it, and as Mr. X was talking about, they had that snowball. They just kept it going, and they didn't make any mistakes.
We'll go ahead and take a look at some of the scores that Optic Gaming got, but this was what we talked about early on. In the first minute, 4 points on the board. They kept the pressure going even as the half went on. They only pushed when they knew they had the ability to score. They didn't try to force anything. It was well coordinated. There's a look at all their dunks. What does it say, TP, when basically every point your team scores is dunks? You don't rely on those ones.
Just uncontested, really. You're waiting for that lead blocker. They do a great job of progressing the drone forward just for yardage. They throw it down every single time until they see that kill feed. They probably just keep their eyes on it the whole time when they're moving up the drone. They get it. I think they need to replicate that sort of style in hardpoint, too. It's a step by step by step. They do it in uplink every single time. Both the uplinks we've seen them play here at Vegas. Do it in hardpoint, too. Take your time, wait for the numbers, then go. Easy points.
And I think the next map we're actually be seeing in hardpoint is Retaliation, where Scump struggled so much in earlier on today. What's the change in gameplay you want to see from him? Where do Optic Gaming improve and maybe get themselves a win? Yes, they did it earlier on, but it also wasn't close in that revenge series.
Yeah, I think they just need to come out a little bit stronger. I mean, at least keep that game even going towards the end of the match. I mean, Rise had that early lead. They were able to sort of rotate early in that map 1. Just take advantage, and you saw Vicento started going off. They used those score streaks perfectly. You just can't allow those guys to sort of have that lead. Put the pressure on them. Optic, they just need to come out strong.
This is the tall order that Rise Nation have now put themselves in. They've got to win 2 respawn hard points in this series if they want to close it out before going to that Game 5, which would be throwback S&D, which that just scares me. You never want to face Optic Gaming in a Game 5 search and destroy. Talk about a roster that knows how to clutch up in that game mode, and in general, as a history of a lineup, it's where they've always excelled. You know they're going to show up when needed. Is it realistic, though, to think Rise Nation can win both hard points with everything considered we've seen today?
I don't think so.
No?
I think
even with how lackluster maybe you could say Optic Gaming have played in the game mode.
I don't think you can beat them in 2 hard points. I just don't think so. I think they're going to come out strong, especially that was a stomping in the uplink, for example. We've seen the reverse sweeps that happened earlier. It started from the link, a dominant link performance. It wasn't they just edge one out, right? It just completely dominate. They run forward through the hard point as well.
Yeah, I mean, that was the big thing for me is the uplink, it wasn't close. I mean, they finished with 10 points, but they had the 10 points with 4 minutes left in the second half. All the players were playing so well, all of them positive. You saw Crim6 making plays. That's who you want. We don't talk about him enough. He is that X factor of the team. When he gets angry, this team excels. And if they let it get to a Game 5, that's scary for Rise, because that guy right there, Crim6.
And so far from what I've seen today, as we kind of wait for these players to get back in, they're going to get set up to play this Game 4. Let's look at the bigger picture from teams so far we've seen this weekend. You guys have been watching Call of Duty all day. Who's really showed up for you, TP? Anyone that's surprised you so far? Anyone you want to see improve going into Saturday's matches?
LG looks scary at times, but there's also times where they try and use too much brute force, for example. I think that's going to work in a majority of their matches, but when they face a team like Envy, like FaZe, like Optic, I don't think that's going to work, and it's going to turn into a situation. It's a term we referred to a lot in Black Ops 2, is feeding. Score streaks so darn important in these respawn game types. They are in Search and Destroy too, but especially with this slower style of hardpoint, if you get 3 of those streaks, that's 3 attempts, 3 ideally intro kills to try and break in. So I feel like LG, while they look really good in the slaying category, sometimes they just need to take a second and slow down.
Merc, anyone for you?
I just think the competition in its entirety has been awesome. I mean, we have two pools where all 3 teams are 1-1. I mean, I think probably the winner of this match has probably looked the best to me. I mean, you go up 2-0. I mean, if Rise wins this, definitely Rise, probably the team of the day. But, you know, it's been a great day 1 so far.
And when you think about it right now, with the groups being at 1-1 apiece, does that set the tone now for these open bracket teams to have an opportunity to actually strike for a first place spot?
Oh, for sure. If you look at some of these previous matches, some of these teams that are, supposed to be the strong team in the pool look kind of weak. So it's a stacked open bracket. Those 4 teams that make it through 160 teams are going to be, number one, extremely warmed up, more warmed up than normal. You have more matches than we're used to seeing in an open bracket, and you see these teams struggling a bit. That's a confidence boost.
Joe, it's one where going into tomorrow, how exactly does it all play out? A look at Looney there getting ready for this Game 4 as we can go ahead and get into it quite soon. We appreciate your patience as these guys get set back up. Here's the thing for me, right, is so far we've seen some teams show up that you'd expect to show up.
Yep.
Other side of things, we haven't seen that at all. I haven't been able to watch a lot of Gosu Crew, but they're at a spot right now where they can come out on top in their pool. What a way to start off their IW, because those guys have been grinding. It seems like a lot of the teams that have played more than others know how to react to a lot of these scenarios, even with the updates that have come in, because I've spoken to some people. Yes, Search and Destroy had some bomb sites move. Nothing too crazy adjusted in that one outside of that. Uplink, yes, some portals have been updated. Hardpoint, the big one, though. And the teams that have played it the most look the most composed. I do know we have a little bit of a CWL highlight video we want to go ahead and throw to as we wait for the guys to get ready for Game 4.
Call of Duty is more than just a game. To some, it's a profession. The Call of Duty World League is the epitome of Call of Duty competition.
The first year of the Call of Duty World League was a major success. There were more eyes than ever before on Call of Duty esports. There was more money on the line than ever before, and the events were untouched.
The CWL boasts professional players from North America, Europe, and APAC, who in 2016 competed for over $3 million at tournaments held across the world. Top competitors have become superstars in the world of esports with millions of followers on social media.
One big thing to remember is there are so many people who just play Call of Duty as a hobby that are now beginning to even learn what Call of Duty esports are through the COD World League. It still remains the titan of first-person shooters. Nothing can touch it.
Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go, baby.
God, those are 3 very energetic human beings. I can tell you that much. Study the most. I've heard Evil Geniuses so far, 2-0. Through their matches today. They're ready for the gauntlet tomorrow, as Havoc said. They have a long day ahead. A lot of those open bracket teams do. Did you guys ever have any major open bracket experiences, or you guys were too prestigious for that?
I think we both did.
Yeah, yours was definitely champs.
Dallas?
Or no, open bracket. Oh, yeah, Dallas.
2013?
That was
we
brutal.
Both did.
Throwback.
That was brutal.
And what was that experience like on your guys' end? What is the difference? Because I saw Nagafen. Okay, go ahead.
The big difference was we had to play split screen until like round 5. I don't think that's ever happened again. So that was one big thing. But yeah, I mean, it's there's positives and negatives to it. Positives, as Tyler talked about, you play more games. You figure out what's working for you. You know, if you have to change strategies, you have to change up. Scary thing is it's a lot of games. You're going to play a lot of tough teams. There's a lot of stress on you, especially teams like Evil Geniuses, those 4 European teams, they are expected to get into this pool play and to mess things up.
Teef, anything on your notes from these open bracket teams that might give them an advantage tomorrow outside of the amount they play?
From my experiences, it's the early matches. You know, your first, second, maybe third match of the day. If you get through those, you start to just get this momentum shift. You start rolling and you start crushing teams. Once you get on that sort of momentum swing, it's so important, especially going into a pool like this.
Yeah.
Momentum's so huge.
And that's what's scary for these pool play teams is these open bracket teams are going to have 4 or 5 games before they play them. And these pool play teams are going to wake up and have to play these juggernauts. So it's going to be really scary for these pool play teams early on.
I know a big thing, too, is those pool play teams, they're used to playing best of 5s. The open bracket teams, they're going to be excited to finally get to those best of 5 series. So far, all of them just playing best of 3s. The rig draft underway. A look at everything on here. Nothing too out of the ordinary as both teams will go ahead. No Centurion, I think, being brought out there. The map, though, Retaliation, Hardpoint. Earlier today, Scump had a very uncharacteristic start to a game. I believe it was like 9-22. He was just a non-factor. Can he turn things around? Going to be a good one. Let's throw it up to our casters. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you so much, guys, for the breakdown in between games. But it's time to go right into the action here. Game number 4. Merc talked about the key player It's Crim6 when he gets angry. He is not somebody you want to see on your screen already. He is going to be coming in on a flank. Optic Gaming up 11 points and counting, as Scump is locking it down in the HP.
Yeah, and I think it's important that Optic gets off to a good start, right? Builds on some of that momentum that they had in the uplink. If you're Rise Nation, though, the one thing I would have talked about in between this is, like, look, guys, like, regardless of what happens on this first hardpoint or lower market, we need to get control of Grave. We need to get control of Broken. Those are the two hills we cannot lose. We can play everything else 50-50. If we get control of those two hardpoints, we are in good shape.
Formal on a 3 streak. You just saw 2 kills coming in for Karma. So it is all kills for Optic Gaming to open things up. We're going to stay on board with Krim, as he will be milking every last second. When you look at the mini-map, though, Matt, where are the key fights happening?
Well, right now it's going to go down by that lower market because the hill is going to be rotating down towards this area. And right now it's going to be Karma on the rotation with Krim. Krim just looking over him from this top patio. And Rise Nation, they get in the hill for a few seconds, but here comes the push from Optic. It's going to be Felony winning one big gunfight. If Krim can get into top bedroom, he could have picked up a lot of kills from above.
Karma has a score streak to use already. Is he going to drop some rockets? It looks like not. He's just going to use his primary instead, just running through opponents with this AR. And he has landed some nice shots. The propulsion lets him fly above his enemy and land 3 straight kills. Scump on your screen has taken control of the hard point. Already 53 points for Optic Gaming after your first 2 hard points, and there's still another 17 points remaining here. Rise is going to fight for it, and it looks like Felony's going to win that. And not only that, they have control of the new spawn.
So they challenge for the last 15 seconds, and normally you'd be like, oh, well, that's not a great decision, whatnot. But they do have control of this market area. You see the streak's going to come in from Karma. He's going to be able to get 1, but it's still going to be Rise in a good spot here in the back rave. These are crucial gunfights so that they need to win. It's going to be Felony winning 1. Karma comes in, but Felony picks up a second one, and this is huge time that Rise Nation can get.
Karma with the 3-piece, clearing everyone out, and Looney's gonna follow as well. We gotta go to Karma. He's on a 5 streak. He's taken over 16-4. The world champ is back and better than ever. He's got the rewind available as well, as he is just 175 off of getting some new score streaks.
Felony picks up 2 kills, and Karma just runs through all of Rise Nation, takes out all 4, gets inside of the hard point. And Optic Gaming, they have a lead right now, but they have Karma to thank because of that. I mean, you look at everybody else, like obviously their numbers are not going to be as good because Karma is just taking a ton of the kills, but still, I mean, you see just,
he's got more than the rest of his team combined, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, just what he's doing right now is sick. It's going to be Rise Nation taking the last 10 seconds here. They are set up for Broken, though. So Rise Nation rotating early again and getting that position. You just feel like eventually if they can win some of these gunfights, they're really going to punish Optic.
That's right. And we showed you Aqua picking up every last second. They're now down by just 30. So a big hill in the back despite Karma's heroics. You're going to see Rise Nation slowly calling back into this game. And here's another big fight. This time Looney watching the flank. He's going to secure it, at least for now, but none of his teammates nearby. He's got to defend himself here, and the rewind from Karma's going to win that battle.
But that was such a clutch play by Looney. His teammates spawn out, he wins 2 gunfights, and then just makes the fight with Karma last long enough that his teammates are able to get back towards it. Optic Gaming gets control of the hill, but the pressure is still coming down this bridge side from Rise Nation. And you look at Rise at this point in the game, Optic, they have a pretty nice lead here. They're going to build on it by locking this down. You get control of that mid-hotel hallway, you try and get it within a 10-point game, and you feel really good for Rise Nation because they did rotate early and get control of those 2 hard points they needed to. They just were not able to win those gunfights early.
And in the last 20 seconds, I have to say I am so impressed with Crim6. Karma, we were watching his screen. He never saw an enemy because Crim6 wouldn't let anyone nearby. Let's take our screen over to Felony, though, here for Rise Nation. They're fighting for control of this hallway. They just cleared it out as Viceno is going to spread looking for the new spawners. You got Aqua working on the opposite end, making sure there's no flank. So all Felony has to do is look forward. Unfortunately, he is going to fall. It's Crim6 peeking from the doorway, able to get first blood, and now here comes Optic on the push, but there's 3 defenders to get through.
Yeah, and that was a really nice break from Optic Gaming. Earlier, we saw Cloud9 struggle with this hill mightily, and it was because they just kept staggering 1 by 1, but you saw the push coming in from Optic, 2 guys at the end of the hallway, 2 coming in from patio, and they were able to break it, but Rise Nation takes it right back, 17 seconds left, so they can actually bring this to a very tight game here, which if you're Rise, you would be super ecstatic going into the second half because you just gave up that Broken in the graveyard area you felt you should have locked down. And, you know, if they're only down, 25 or so seconds here, Pocket, you can't feel bad if you're Rise Nation.
Down 28, so about a 30-point buffer once again for Optic as that number continues to grow. It was Crim6 in the hill, but he's going to be taken down. Facento in the feed once again has been a very strong player for Formal. And honestly, I think this is my favorite guy to watch out of any of the 8 players on the stage. He is just so pure with his aim. Let's go over to Facento, though. That rewind available here for his next gunfight.
Yeah, and 25 seconds left on this hard point. If you're Rise Nation here, he's going to get top bedroom control, and Rise is going to try and make this time back in the next hill.
Credit to Aqua, who gave him that spawn, and you're going to see Facento now locking down the indoor corridors. Meanwhile, Looney going to be positioned top scaffolding, and they did just lose Felony, who is watching the far bridge. Looney's now got to turn his attention. He will be able to clean up Crim6, but here comes Scump and Formal. Formal has his payload available. He's going to be inside, able to shut down this narrow hall, or is he? He is going to get picked off. It is Fellow with some fantastic K-bar shots.
You're going to see Facento use the rewind. He's going to have a teammate go out and bait for him, so it's going to be Rise Nation getting control of the hard point. But Chris, we've seen it time and time again, at least in retaliation on this map, where Optic Gaming, they give up early control of the hill, and they're just able to break it with ease.
Facento, he's on the other side of the map. Meanwhile, Optic Gaming is going to be pushing in for this point. Before I can switch to him, the player already died. A strong hold for Rise is going to bring this back within 30 after Optic started to pull away. And at the end of the hill, it looks like it's going to be 170 to about 152. Let's take our screen, Matt. Who do you want to watch?
Well, you have Aqua picking up a big kill on the rotation, so he's going to just close down this sight line here and just let his teammates work their way up through bridge. And these initial gunfights are huge for Rise. If they get control of Grave, they can get right back into this. But if Optic Gaming locks this one down, you think this is game over.
Felony, who got the big 2-piece last time this hill came up, unable to get anything. Looney's going to have to come up clutch, and he can't get it done. Facento by himself in the middle of 3 Optic players will be able to take down Formal, but he's still got to find Scump. Shots going down. It's Karma punishing. Crim6 inside the hard point continues to score. Optic Gaming now over 200. They are 40 points away, basically, at the end of this hill, to moving forward to a game number 5, and it looks like they are going to keep Crim6 for every last second. This is a big defensive hold for Rise. If they want to get back in the game, they got to count on Aqua to get the kills from the side.
Yeah, it's a smart play from Optic. You're kind of banking on by leaving Crim there. A nice big 2-piece there by Aqua for Rise Nation. But if you're Optic, you're banking on, even if you don't get broken control, you can split time at Hotel Hallway. You've won the bridge hardpoint every time it's come up, and you can put the game away there.
25 points away. They basically just need to break here on this push, and they've got it locked up. Instead, though, Aqua's staying alive, looking for his 4th kill in a row, is going to find it. Meanwhile, Facento right there to clean up Karma. So Rise, a stronghold so far. They've already scored 23 points.
Yeah, and if Rise were to take the full 60 on this, they'll bring it to only down about 5, so they'll get to about 220. And you see Optic Gaming have to get across this bridge. It is such a hard choke to push across, and see, Scump's going to get one. Felony needs to watch this angle here because he has players pushing in.
And Felony is just checking every entrance. There is the fight. Wins it against Formal, pre-firing the second doorway. Now the pressure coming from his right. He's going to jump back out and challenge it. Almost caught that player reloading. Unfortunately for him, it is Crim6 winning the battle. Last 5 seconds are going towards Optic Gaming, and that's going to put him up 233 to 201 as the new hardpoint pops. Already, though, it's Rise Nation in that hill. It's going to be Facento scoring.
And Rise should get the first 15 or 20 seconds of this because Optic's going to spawn all the way in the back broken. But you see, it's going to be Optic Gaming just using that power to just muscle their way through. It's going to be Felony answering back, though, with a 2-piece. And now you see Aqua just putting down some crossfire here, and they're able to get in. And you see how far the spawns are coming in. For Optic Gaming, it's not looking good right now, Chris.
And here we go, Rise Nation on the comeback, down just 10 points. If they win this game, they will take the series here on our main stage. A 3-point game now, 4-point game. Aqua doing so much damage here in the second half.
And Optic is starting to just funnel in one by one right now. They need to stabilize, and they need to make one good push inside of the hill. Rise Nation takes the lead. It's going to be Scump with a big 2-piece. 10 seconds left on this. They both need to just remain calm because nobody potentially could be set up for bridge here.
And it is Scump here at the end, Matt. He's broken through, he's locked it down, but we have one more hill. It's all going to come down to the bridge. Scump on the flank as you see Formal flying out. Scump with a 2-piece is going to lock it through. We're going to a game 5.
That one got really close there towards the end. It was a fantastic hallway hold from Rise Nation, and Skunk with a good use of his payload reactive armor here, coming from the back, secures those 2 kills, able to take the last few seconds.
Going into those last 2 hard points, it was a 50-point advantage, if not more, for Optic Gaming. Basically a full hold by Rise at Broken, and then they rotate early. Aqua goes off to maintain hotel control, but at the end of the day, never count out Scump. He gets in short range, he's able to tear through. That big 2-piece cleared the way. They're able to seal the deal.
Getting those last few seconds in that hotel hallway was huge for Optic Gaming. I mean, they don't get those. They obviously have to hold a little bit longer at bridge. Maybe they're a little bit slower to get there. And Rise had players there in position, but it was Scump just being able to pick up a big 2-piece, which swung the game in Optic's favor.
We're going to a game number 5, but before that, we got to take a look at some of the highlights from that second hard point. We are all tied up. Remember, Rise won your first and second games. It's been Optic taking game 3 and 4. And here's a look at some of the best action. Aqua fighting through 3 players at this point just to get in this position. He did so much slaying on the previous hill as well, and this is where Rise is going to bring it within 4 seconds. That fight up top locked it all in. Unfortunately, though, Scump was able to answer back just a few moments later, and here he is at the end of the game on the flank. He's got a teammate distracting. Karma falls down, but Scump is able to clean up everything else. They take it in a very narrow retaliation HP.
But you look at the mini-map there towards the end, and it's something I was talking about where those last few seconds in Hotel Hallway were huge because Scump gets on the hill, and if you look at the mini-map, his teammates are spawning at the lower market. So if he gets taken out right away, Optic has no chance of even getting back towards the hard point.
Clutch fight, clutch win. It's this man, Seth Abner, going big here. Honestly, the only tournament this man hasn't won. It's the Call of Duty World Championship. He's looking for it here in Infinite Warfare. We'll see if he can get it.
They have to. I mean, they have to. I feel like at this point, it's like you kind of like, well, you expect them to win all these other events. It's like they need to win that event.
Well, this is a big match right away. We're already in pools. Both teams 1-0. So this could very much be the top seed in your group. All you got to do is then win an open bracket match tomorrow. A lot of pressure on all of these players on the main stage, and honestly, I love the matchup. Every time we see Vicento, Felony, Aqua going up against Optic Gaming, it is a much better series than anyone predicts, and I don't know why we don't just expect these to be amazing every time.
They're always great series, but they always have the same outcome where Optic ends up taking it. It's like they get so close to beating them, and they just cannot put them away for whatever reason. And going into this Game 5, it's obviously going to be Rise's bread and butter, search and destroy. But you got to think, though, Optic Gaming pulls this out.
Oh, both of these teams are so practiced on this map as well. I can't wait to see how it's going to play out. Are we going to see some sniping from Formal here? Is it just going to be assault rifles? How is Optic going to approach this? Because last time, Vicento went off for Rise Nation to start the game, and they never looked back on Crusher.
I think you could potentially see the sniper out of Formal. Maybe if you're watching over towards the A side on the defensive end, we saw him pull it out in our game number 2. I do think, though, if you do pull out the sniper, if it's not working, you need to get away with it, get away from it as soon as possible.
And here we go. Players, moments away. Las Vegas, are you guys waking up? You ready for this last game of the night? It is Optic Gaming, Rise Nation, Search and Destroy. We're going to have our rig draft, and then we will get into this one. How many people out there think Rise Nation is going to take this? Well, you're not going to hear them over the Optic
for Optic, yeah, so I think that you don't even think you need to ask who.
We're not even going to do the second half of that one.
No, yeah, they answered it with the first half, yeah.
The crowd all here supporting Optic Gaming. They are ready to see their team complete a reverse sweep. Rise Nation, though, does not want to let this series slip through their grasp. A big win on day 1 could just lead to a lot of momentum, not only here in this group, but the bracket play as well. You give yourself that number 1 seed, you're going to have a much better time on Sunday. Here's a look, though, at Karma to open things up. He's been a key player for his squad in Search and Destroy. He loves to play aggressive, and to open things up, he is going to be the first one down. Trophy system is going to be placed, and now he's looking for the first pick. Felony, most likely going to be that challenger.
Yeah, they're going to get the bomb down, though, so now Optic's going to be able to back out from the site, play this a little bit further. You're going to have Karma just playing in that position, just watching that underbridge area, and everybody else in the back, and Looney just trying to find an alleyway he can attack from. Gets a lot of nice shots on one player in the back, and it's going to be Felony taking out Karma down by the bomb.
Karma down, so it's going to be a 3-on-3, make it a 3-on-2 as Looney answers back. Kills being traded back and forth. Aqua fully tagged up is going to continue to fight. Facento picks up the final 2 kills. The flank comes in, and he is going to be given the defuse.
It's a big round there from Rise Nation. They're able to just get that mid-map control, and they're able to just break in. That first kill from Felony is huge, though. It forces players from Optic to just look down towards the site, just takes their sight lines away from the players jumping over the fences, and they're able to pick up some kills.
We talked about key players in Search and Destroy. Well, Facento off to another fantastic start at 2-0. Nice baiting by his teammate. Let's go over, though, to this Rise Nation squad as they're on the attack. Optic, they had a clear plan. They were going to hit A and hit it fast. This time around, though, it looks like Rise, they want to fight through the middle.
And we see teams do this quite often on this map. And you see they're going to go for this advantage over the fence, and they actually don't see the player down by the site. It's going to be Looney pushing straight through, and the 2 players behind, they just do not see the players from Optic underneath by the bomb.
And that's bad on Looney right there. He should have seen out of the corner of his eye, but so focused on his reticle, just missed someone in the bottom left, and instead it's going to be now a 1-on-1. Felony versus Scump. Scump, he's clutched up some 1v1s. Last time this battle happened, it was Felony securing the win with a 1v1 victory. He's got the bomb, 45 seconds left, plenty of time. Both of these players are just going to run around the map, checking every single corner, looking for each other.
Yeah, and just such a large map to cover, and you can get just cross lane so fast through this mid-train area. We'll see how Felony decides to play this as, just taking his time. Scump just wandering around the map, and with only 22 seconds left, has to have an idea of what's going on.
Scump's checking every site. He's like, I didn't see it at B. I'll go to A. Don't see it at A. I'll go to B. Scump's just looking for him. Time's running out, and now he knows exactly where Felony's at, but he doesn't know the escape route Felony took. Felony has no clue where Scump is until just now. He just spotted him.
Yeah, Felony has an idea where Scump is, and he's going to challenge the gunfight and win it. It's going to put Rise Nation up 2-0 rounds. We saw Scump in 3 1v1s in our game number 2. Comes out on top in one of those scenarios, and start things off here on Throwback. Another 1v1 scenario that comes down to Scump and one of the guys on Rise Nation, and Felony comes out big.
And there you see Facento barking out the orders. Aqua had something to chime in there, and then you also saw Felony with some advice. I want to watch the defense here. What is the plan coming in for Rise Nation? Felony on your screen. He's always been the player to go out over at A and check for that bomb carrier. He's going to go up and above, and now he sees the plant. It's coming in from Scump. Will he be able to stop it, though? You have Optic Gaming trying to push through the middle. His teammates have his back covered. And there you see the pick. Felony's going to take Scump out.
And that is a big kill. He can't go over the top end challenge because of the player in that back bus, but he's able to see Scump's leg as he gets bombed down. Now Felony gets control of this top bridge area, though. It's such a tough gunfight to win. Now he's got 2 players watching his cross. Needs a teammate here to come on the flank.
Grim6 on the other side through the fence is going to pick Felony and get out alive. Bomb down, and they just have to protect it for about 10 more seconds. Formal in the air is going to be cut down. It is Looney hopping on the defuse. Rise Nation's going up 3-0 as they have absolutely silenced the crowd here in Vegas.
And Optic needs a round here. If they need to win this next round, going down 0-4, it would not be good for Optic Gaming. I would be very hard-pressed to see them make that comeback.
Looney with a nasty 2-piece to close out round number 3. It'll be Optic back on the defensive end as they'll try and find out where Rise is going with this bomb plant. Let's jump on board. I want to see Looney actually 5-2. He is having a fantastic start here. He's also been your bomb carrier every round for Rise Nation.
We'll see what Rise does here on offense. They've had a lot of success going towards mid-map and over towards A. Now, right now, just playing a little bit of a slower approach as Optic, they are just fully stacked up right now. It seems like they're just trying to be the aggressors here. You see Looney going to C1, going to back down. It's going to be Formal and Karma in the kill feed. So it's going to be Optic Gaming taking 3 players down. 1 player up. It's going to be Looney alive.
He's able to Looney. And the last player up is going to be able to win it here. Optic Gaming staying alive, and most importantly, they stopped Looney from getting even more streaks. They stopped the bleeding here in our tiebreaker game as Formal able to find him coming out that bowling door.
That would have been a back-breaking 1v3 clutch for Looney. I think he clutches that. That is your series. I can't see Optic Gaming coming back from that, but they get that 1 round on the board. They go on offense. Now, they've been able to get bombed down today. They just need to get out with their life.
They've been so slow to plan it as well. Karma going back to the same position he did in round number 1. I want to take a quick peek at Crim6. Crim, after spotting a player, is immediately going to retreat. And you're going to see the bomb safely planted this time. Optic still hasn't dropped anybody until just now. The Scarab from Felony comes in. It is going to secure the kill. And Felony picks up a second. Overwhelmed is Crim, all up to Formal. What a round here from Rise on defense. Looney's going to use a Scarab as well. And the score streak's coming into play. You also have to be aware of the payloads that are now available. The defuse coming in for Vicento.
The retakes from this Rise Nation team have been phenomenal. When Optic's able to get the bomb down, it's usually a very difficult site to break in and retake, and they're doing it with relative ease.
8-3 is Looney. Team captain. 3 of his teammates leave him to go to Luminosity. He sticks with Rise Nation, rebuilds, brings on Vicento, Aqua, and Felony from Elevate. And it is paying massive dividends. Optic Gaming desperately needs this round, trailing by 3, cannot let their opponents put them on match point. Karma on your screen as Formal's going to get the first blood on Felony.
And Optic being very aggressive towards the middle of the map, and I like this decision. Their strength in this matchup is obviously their gun skill versus the side of Rise Nation, so they should be the aggressors in this one.
And Vicento is going to be taking a tour. Optic Gaming holding on to the mid. Rise Nation just trying to slow this down here, Matt. And Optic, they're on the hunt. They're more afraid of A than anything, it seems. And Vicento, if he keeps going this direction, he's eventually going to find some action.
Yeah, but just look at how much of the map he's covered. He can call out to his teammates. He knows where these players are, and right there he needs to finish off that kill. Gives away his position now. You do see Rise. They will be able to get bombed down. If Vicento can pick up 1 kill here, it would be so huge for Rise.
And Vicento is drawing so many players in his direction. Meanwhile, he is setting up Aqua. Aqua's able to get one on Crim6 and get out, but he won't be able to survive the battle from the window. Looney staying alive. He's got Vicento with him. Vicento outside's going to fall, and Looney's going to drop as well. It's Optic Gaming coming, storming through. Scump and Formal clearing the barn, and Scump is going to be given the defuse. They're not going down quite yet. 4-2 after Optic takes round number 6.
And that's such a big kill from Scump because Looney has that reactive armor. If Looney wins that fight, he can maybe get out, draw another 3 or 4 seconds. Then you're looking at about 12 seconds on the clock. Uses that reactive armor, checks bomb. That's an easy gunfight to win. Gives Optic not a lot of time to jump back on it again.
This sliding Scump, man, he's so dangerous. And here he is on your screen to open things up. Rise reading Optic very well in this round. Felony with his payload. Keep an eye on him, and he's going to get picked. Formal with first blood gives Optic the advantage. Scump still looking for some action. Meanwhile, Karma's in a battle. Formal shooting over his shoulder is going to pick up his second. Scump is going to find a third. It's all up to Looney, and I do not expect him to use his payload here. Optic Gaming brings it to 1 round difference. 3-4 now.
And this is getting scary for Rise. You get this lead, you can feel it in the venue that Optic is just mounting this comeback. They need a big play here, Rise Nation, and you're looking at Looney. When he gets that reactive armor this next round, does he use it to put them on game point?
I want to see what's happening on the side of Rise right now. How are these guys feeling? Is the panic setting in? Were they able to handle the pressure? On board with Felony. He has been your star player at range, has the active camo available as well. And he is going to go ahead and use it. The challenge coming in the back. Does his opponent see him? He does not. Trying to retreat his Formal, and he's going to get cut down already. It is Rise with the advantage. Bomb goes down as well, and you have Aqua in a power position top center.
You see, it's going to be Vicento with a rewind here in the back. Going to use it just to stay alive here. Going to get back into bowling, but that's going to put him right in harm's way. As Scump's walking on through there, able to take him out. But still, Rise Nation with the man advantage. It's all up to Scump and Crim.
Felony can't pre-fire. He's going to be taken down. It's Crim6. Aqua answers back, though. A 2-on-1 for Crim. Crim gets 1. Finds the second, but the reactive armor comes down. And now we have a match point for Rise Nation. Let's take a look at Looney's final kill. Pops the reactive and wins the gunfight.
If he doesn't pop reactive, that's when Krim maybe wins.
The Krimbot would have just melted him.
Yeah, he may have. I mean, it even looked like he might have done it there. And now, can we just check one thing?
Yes.
We go on with Formal real quick. Okay, so I believed... no, actually, never mind. Sorry. I thought Formal actually used that in the last round, but did not.
Scump slowing this one down. He's been your bomb carrier every attack. Did not go directly for A, so Rise is going to know something new is up.
So Optic playing very passive here as Aqua's going to earn his payload. He's going to try and go over the top, and he sees 3 players, and he's able to get one here. That's a huge first blood for Rise Nation.
And he is going to pop his overdrive, just trying to make himself as difficult of a target as possible. Grenades coming in. Vicento's going to drop Karma. It's all up to Krim and Formal here. Formal's going to get one. Krim surviving as well, and as I say it, it's all up to Formal. Formal in a 1v3 now makes it a 1v2. Spots one player. Boom! Fire down the fence, and Formal gets it! The crowd in Vegas erupting as Rise Nation stacks up Formal with the double wall bang here.
What are they doing? They're... Oh, that is... You can't make that... That is one that
You got to rinse that from your brain. Stop talking about it. Go into this next round if you're Rise.
They need to erase that from their memory. That is a beautiful play by Formal. Puts Optic right back in this, gives them all the momentum. Rise Nation body stacking over by that fence gives Formal an easy 2-piece.
And those grenades going out are going to let Optic Gaming know exactly where their opponents are. There's just a scarab out on the map, though. So keep your eye on Vicento. He is going to be the player in danger. And it looks like instead, Looney is going to be spotted. No kills coming in yet. Aqua opened things up so well for Rise last round. Can he finish it here?
We'll see. He has an idea of where one player is. Going to try and pre-fire, not going to connect. And you see the rotation coming in from Optic. And Looney just shoulder peeking that corner. Vicento gets first blood. So another first blood for Rise Nation. But it's going to be Scump answering back. Looney pushes through, able to get one. Karma's going to take him out. Karma does have rewind. We'll see how he elects to use it.
Optic Gaming on defense. Bomb still not planted. Hey, Karma's going to get caught in transition. It's all up to Formal here. Can he do it back-to-back rounds? Felony and Aqua alive, and this time they are not stacked up, Matt.
No, Formal's going to get tagged up, not able to win the gunfight. And in a game 5, Rise Nation clutches up and takes out Optic Gaming.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know there are a lot of fans for Optic Gaming out there in the crowd, but you got to give it up for Rise. Looking at this team just 2 weeks ago in Anaheim, they have totally changed up their game. They came to play, and they put on a show against Optic Gaming. It went the distance, but Rise, they just opened up too strong, and they finished with an incredible opening up here the first 3 rounds. Aqua catches fire towards the end of the game, and they just played that one so smart.